What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action in the right-hand corner of the map, playing as Ra. His name is Husk Super, and this is him empowering a town center and showing that he means business. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Boitus, apparently. It's Zeus. It is Peter Crocs, a new player on the scene. I don't really know who he is, but I saw this game and somewhat got recommended it, and this is the type of game that I really enjoy. Peter Crocs has seen the patch notes, he's seen the light, and he understands what needs to be done here. But before we do get into this one, I wanted to make a little shout out to the community already. If you aren't aware, we are currently crowdfunding for the Athens Gamathlon LAN. If you take a quick look up in the top corner there, you'll see we've already made $1,055. So we're literally $450 away from being able to bring 6 people to Athens. And then obviously an extra, we only need to push for an extra $3,000 right now to bring 8 people to Athens. It's looking very, very doable, guys. Your support is absolutely unbelievable at the moment. If you are currently thinking about donating, remember you can pick up merch, you can subscribe to Twitch, you can become a member on YouTube. Basically all the revenue that I make from any sort of donations for the next 2 weeks is going straight into this fund, as well as there's a bunch of rewards that you can pick up as well. Just for a quick little rundown of that here. Let me give you a quick little show of what's going on there. Schmack. You can pick up these ones. You can already see we've gotten ourselves a bunch of really cool donations. You could grab coaching. You could get a signed Prostagma t-shirt. You can get yourself as a part of the actual game in the tournament as well by becoming a Hersa or a Pharaoh or even becoming a god if you really feel like supporting. But enough of that. Let's get back to the games. So Peter Crocs here, he's going to be showing us a little something in this game. I'm not going to comment too much about his storehouse placement here. He's got a couple of issues with the old wood situation there, as he's going to have to put down his house. He's going up to the classical age through Athena. He's grabbed himself that Olympian parentage, and he's going to be looking for some damage onto Soup's main bases. Soup is now starting to spam up these houses. He's got himself double monuments here, and he's going to be looking to potentially play for either like Wadgets or Sphinx or Petsukos, or even Scarabs aren't a terrible shout here. But there goes the Athena. If he wants to lock this off, he's going to have to build a house here, and then he could look to wall here. Of course, the Jason is now in, but you don't have to worry too much about it. Just get a priest out and look to actually heal the villagers back up. Not the biggest of deals at the moment. The priest is currently searching around the map, putting obelisks up. You need to have this one in the main base, but nonetheless, with the priest coming over here, healing up, it's gonna be a dead villager if you're not careful. But the amount of healing is very, very nice. As Soup pulls a couple of villagers, gets the shanks off, and he is good to go now. Basically, I think it's something like 2 priests is enough to out-heal John Tomaz here. It is enough to out-heal John Tomaz. But nonetheless, we'll see the shankages coming through. Now the Minotaur's coming in. The Pharaoh gets bolted as Peter Crocs is looking for as much damage as he possibly can. The villagers will bail into the tower over here as the Sphinx pops out. That's going to get taken out immediately. Absolutely brutal here. Really, really big amount of damage from Peter Crocs at the moment, as the Minotaur will slowly get taken down by these priests. But oh my god, the amount of damage done here is unbelievable. As the priest also goes down, Soup tries to keep it alive. Not able to do so. Villagers back onto the gold mine as the Heracles and the Jason will pop through for even more damage. Of course, he can just turn around and shank, The villagers can get out-healed, not against the Heracles. You need 3 priests to out-heal the Heracles damage from memory. But nonetheless, the attack is over. The damage is done. And, well, Soup is going to have to think about what to do next. He's dropped his barracks. Losing that Sphinx was so brutal. I'm surprised he built it. Like, if you got two heroes in your base, I mean, if maybe it was just a mistake and he wanted to put the Sphinx up to the top and then go raid or something like that. I'm not sure where the other Sphinx actually ended up going. Or was that just the free Sphinx? I think that might have just been the free Sphinx. I'm a little bit stupid. That was just the free Sphinx. But yeah, if he got that one out and send that directly over into the main base of Peter Crocs, now all of a sudden that bolt that came down, as the Heracles is back in, all of a sudden that bolt that comes down isn't really that big of a deal, because while you're taking a whole bunch of damage, you're putting a whole bunch of damage onto your opponent. But yeah, nonetheless, that's the situation there. Alrighty, so we will see how things are going, and I do have a little bit of I didn't think this would happen while I'm doing a non-streamy video, but we did just get a $55 donation from, I'm just gonna go with Aitor. So I appreciate that. Whoops, that is not what I meant to do there. Let me try that again. One. We didn't want to go down. One. I'll just do this. I don't know what it is at the moment. There we go. So we just got a bit of a donation there from Aitor. Thank you very much to him. And we're getting closer and closer as the as the days go for this crowdfunding campaign. Huge shout outs to everyone who's supported. There's going to be a lot of different names popping up, I think, in the stream when we're at Athens. So and also in the qualifiers as well, and all the other good stuff. But nonetheless, Spearman gets taken out over here as Soup tries to get some raids in. But if we take a look at what Peter Crocs is about to do, he's now going into Minotaur. He has got himself 3 villagers on the temple. He has got himself 3 villagers on the temple, and he is going to be starting to spam out those Minotaur. Of course, he does need to grab himself the upgrade. That's what got buffed. The Minotaur without that upgrade is, I would say, somewhat mid, but with the upgrade, very, very, very strong. Of course, the bit of a catch out there as the hoplite does get spotted as Soup is doing Soup things here. Full Spearman against the Hoplite Toxoid is not really what you want, but you do need to get enough Spearmen out in order to actually deal with the Heracles. You've got to get enough Spearmen out to deal with the Heracles. But nonetheless, Soup will pull back, heal up, and think about what to do next. He's got a lot of favor in the bank himself. Now, because he's gone through Bast, I think he should basically just go into Sphinx here as well. Spend all of this favor, go into Sphinx, and then use that to take out these units. I think it's going to be a really, really strong way to play, especially with the Eclipse and with the Hyrule Sphinx. The Heracles only moves at about 5 speed, so you're always going to be able to outspeed that guy. And even if the Sphinx does get tapped a couple of times by the Heracles, it's going to be able to run away and get back to full HP. But nonetheless, Soup, he is actually doing this. He's getting himself the Hyrule Sphinx. It does take quite a while to actually build a Sphinx. I believe it's something like 20 seconds. 17 seconds, there you go. But because the Pharaoh is in here empowering, it's going to come in much, much quicker. So Soup does need to get himself a lot of villagers onto gold, which he's going to be doing. And then he should be right. But the fact of the matter here is that if Peter Crocs goes into Mass Minotaur, then that's an answer to the Sphinx as well, because the Minotaur are going to be able to headbutt the Sphinx away from getting any damage during that Eclipse. Also, Restoration is going to be good value. Peter Crocs decides he doesn't want to take on the outside position anymore. Doesn't feel like he can take fights, pulling back over onto the berries, and still not actually building anything in terms of the myth units just yet, as John Tomas comes back out yet again. And we'll see how things end up going here as the medium slingers is coming through, and Peter Crocs is looking a little bit like he's in a bit of a difficult position. It's mostly Hoplite Toxodi here as he says, I can take the fight. Of course, there's no shifting stance here, so a restoration is going to be huge amount of AoE damage to come through from that one Minotaur as the Slingers get some good damage done. And Soup goes, hang on, I shouldn't be here, as he decides, let's get out. He can obviously, well, not obviously, he can speed walk away. One secret here to speed walking is you basically just select the units, and as they come through, as your reinforcements come through, you can use those to retreat quicker. But Soup now out in the middle of the map here. He has to take a fight. He clicks and clips with just one Sphinx here. I mean, if he charges onto the backline, it's fine. He charges straight over onto the heroes. No micro from Soup there as the Sphinx now comes around yet again. Just run from the heroes. He comes through. He sends the Minotaur a little bit back, but all of Soup's units get absolutely cleaned up. That is not the micro you want to do with the Sphinx, not in the slightest there. You use the speed to stay away from the heroes while getting sick AoE damage done onto human units. But if you're close to the heroes, they're going to be brutal as now Soup loses all of his villagers on the front. And now that the advantage has come through for Peter Crocs, he's now going to start up on his Minotaur spammage. He's got himself 10 villagers on gold. I don't think he's gotten himself his upgrade just yet, but now he's got 3 Minotaur coming in to take down the tower. The back of the base here for Soup is basically, I mean, it's not easy to run in here and do any damage, but look at this. All the villagers for Soup over on this gold mine for the moment, as he's going to attempt to get himself out of this position. It's going to be very tough for him to do so if Peter Crocs is switched on to where the gold mines are. Now, he does see a gold mine down on the bottom. The units are moving into the middle, so he's not sure what to do just yet. So this is going to give Soup a little bit of a chance here to bring this game back. Every little moment that he gets on this gold mine is a little bit more of a chance. Of course, there is somewhat of a skill diff in this game. I have to say, there is somewhat of a skill diff. I haven't seen Peter Crocs before. I think he's been playing for quite some time, but he is quite a few levels below Soup. But it doesn't matter your skill diff if you've just thrown the game like that. As the Sphinx come forward, they're now trying to actually micro a little bit as the Minotaur come over onto the villagers here. The villagers get pulled away as the Sphinx coming through here. Minotaur versus Sphinx, Heracles versus Sphinx. Villagers manage to stay alive. Great control here from Soup to take out the Slingers on the back there as the priests are coming through as well to try and deal with those Minotaur. The Minotaur take out the Sphinx as well as John Tamaz still alive, still slapping. Another Sphinx goes down, but the Minotaur are also falling. Slingers need to help take down the rest of these units as well. But after the dust settles here, as Peter Croc says, let me sacrifice my units to pick off even more villagers. After the dust settles at the moment, Soup is going to be left with 20-ish villagers. As another villager goes down, another villager goes down. The blood remains, and a huge advantage for Peter Crocs remains. 1.1k military versus 2.2k military, however, should give Soup the opportunity to get some sort of a pushback. The Minotaur, they're out. They've got that 5.2 speed. We'll see if they can utilize that to maybe sneak over onto this gold mine again and cause some more problems. We've got the Heracles coming back out. We've got more Minotaur on the way. Villagers in the center of the map is incredibly dangerous, though. If he was up onto this hunt, I would say maybe a little bit less dangerous. Walls coming up onto the top there as well for Peter Crocs. Exactly what he should be doing with the Minotaur. They sneak through. 2 priests is not scary for these Minotaur in the slightest. He charges through as the headbutt will come through. Gets a couple of villagers over here. One goes down. This one over here might be able to pull back. Soup charging into the front here. It's 2.1k military versus 2.8k. So Soup still has that advantage, but the villager differential is absolutely huge. Peter Crocs idles his villagers. All Peter Crocs needs to do is keep his villagers alive. He can make a bail out of this position as well through his wall, and he should be okay as the heroes will come up. The Minotaurs will be popping out. There's no heroes on this position, so the Minotaur will be incredibly effective at in this one. In fact, you could even consider just pulling the hoplites back and allowing the Minotaur to do what they do, because these units do not do damage to the Minotaur. Let's just take a quick look at the actual hack armor. It's 432, 60% hack, and reinforcements continue to come through as Soup needs to pull back. A great counter here from Peter Crocs is not only that, the Minotaur coming over onto the backside to catch the slingers out of position, and he gets the headbutt in. Even more damage to come through as Peter Crocs comes in with another headbutt as all those units taking huge amounts of AoE damage. Soup goes, crap, that's a lot of Minotaur. Let's get some more priests out. He's got a lot of favor in the bank still, but because he's so far behind on the economy after losing all those villagers, building himself some Sphinx at this point seems very, very difficult. Of course, if he just takes all of his villagers up and puts them over onto gold, he will be able to get them out. But even so, they've been struggling to really deal with the Minotaur. Minotaur plus heroes seems to be enough to shut down that Sphinx angle at this moment, especially without that Eclipse. If you have the Eclipse, maybe I'd say he'd be able to break through the Minotaur, but he just doesn't. As the priests come in, they're going to take out this bull Minotaur. Villagers pulling back as well, trying to stay safe here. A little bit of a risky move from Peter Crocs. You don't want to be sacrificing these guys to the priest ball here. He does almost lose one of those. Peter Crocs on the backside, more hoplites, more Toxotes moving up onto this gold mine, or up onto this hunt even, is a great idea, so long as he's got some defenses up there. But he does need some more military buildings. You can see once that Q comes up, that's definitely a reminder to build more military. We'll see how he's going to go there, as the Minotaur will swing through and look for what they can do. Now the Sphinx coming through for Soup, as the villagers will pop up the walls in this position. Up onto the top here, the Rhino will get taken out. And this Sphinx will chase these guys down and see what they can do there, as he does come through. He gets the headbutts off, but that's a great bait from Soup. Soup needs every little bit of damage he possibly can. Somehow, some way, the military diff here is equal again. And Soup does manage to get himself some Sphinx out. He's got a big queue of units as well. This, the fact that this military diff is equal at this point is just, I don't know, maybe it's a credit to Soup's macro. I don't want to say that. Maybe it's just Ra can just get these units out way, way quicker and cheaper. And the fact of the matter is, militarily being the same, or resource diff, means that this Greek army is going to be very, very strong. Restoration to come back up here as well would be absolutely huge, as the hoplites chasing down those priests over here. The axemen trying to get in to deal with this as well. As the Sphinx to come through. Great catch there from Soup. The micro is incredible. He is making a what's the phrase? He's making a masterpiece out of a piece of poop. I don't know what the what the phrase is. Oh god. But nonetheless, the Sphinx here will get healed back up. The Minotaur now looking for a potential fight. I think he should just wait for the restoration at this point. The fact that he's got this amount of value Minotaur means that a 100 favor restoration is going to be absolutely huge. He's pulling back. Soup knows he's on somewhat of a timer here. He's grabbing a town center in the center of the map. I like that play. If you can potentially catch your opponent out here in somewhat of a mistake, we'll see what he can actually make happen. But Soup will pull back. Peter Crocs is going to be searching around for shenanigans here, and we'll see how it's going to go, as the Sacred Cats is going to come through. Husbandry coming through. Town Center for Soup does finish up. The Minotaur charging in. Restoration gets dropped down as the army comes through. The headbutts sending units flying immediately. They get straight back to work though, but these Minotaur look like they are very, very strong here. Now the priests all end up falling as the Minotaur get through with that headbutt. The hoplites charging to take out the priest, and the rest of this army is getting absolutely and unequivocally obliterated here. Now the Sphinx over here does end up going down. Sphinx on that side ends up going down. Priests end up going down into the main base, and Peter Crocs can look to take out the town center next as Soup has got nothing left in this main base. He's at 800 resource total, and he taps out as Peter Crocs manages to take out Soup with the Minotaur spam here. We do see the Sphinx managed to equalize a little bit while this was all going on, but it just wasn't enough for Soup to survive versus that power of Restoration Minotaur. That early game went absolutely terrible for Soup, and Peter Crocs capitalizes in a big, big way. I think if you're gonna, Soup did advance really late here, right? What was the technology? 440. I think if you're gonna go that late to the classical age versus Zeus, the way to play it is get the villagers onto gold early, get the houses up with your monument empowerment and the wall up, and then all of a sudden this Jason, this Heracles, this Minotaur attack doesn't really do a whole lot. Now, of course, the best situation to do this on is going to be a map like this where you get hippos and you can drag them in underneath the town center. Then if the Heracles wants to come and attack you, it can, but it's going to be getting hit by the town center, and you can pull the villagers off of the hippos over onto goats inside your defensive buildings and be fine. But unfortunately here, Soup, he just took so much damage from that early game. Then he was, I don't think he was forced to drop his Eclipse early, but he dropped his Eclipse early because he was scared he was going to get pushed off of this hunt. And it just did not work out for him with just the one Sphinx. Imagine if he'd had that Eclipse for the second fight with all of those, I can't show you, but in this fight here, if he had that Eclipse for that second fight with all of those Sphinx, it may have gone way, way different. And the game potentially could have gone Soup's way here. But nonetheless, a very, very fun game here with those Bull Minotaur. 24 kills, 1,831 damage at the end of the game there. And of course, there were a grand total of, of 14 Minotaur created in this game. 15 Sphinx as well. This is exactly the type of age mythology that I love to watch. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit the follow on the Twitch. If you want to send any donations into the crowdfunding, I'll drop a link in the description box below, but make sure you do tell me exactly what you're donating for in the crowdfunding, and I will see you guys in the next one.